This episode is sponsored by Caddy Shack Bistro, your favorite new watering hole. Located next to Crust Pizza Company on Spring Cypress and Champions Forest Drive in Spring, Texas. A place where dreams come true. The finest spirits, wine, and tasty food. It's where the locals go. Use code BeerNerd20 to get 20% off your next order.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Front Row Negative, the podcast. We're back again. Somehow we were back. We take breaks that we don't even know that we're taking. And then we pop back up whenever Dwayne feels like he wants to send us a new episode. So, I'm your host, Aaron. And with me is Pancho Villa. Not to be confused with Pancho's the restaurant. Because we all know that St. Patrick's Day, is coming up. If you do need a restroom to empty yourself out in, Pancho's is a great place to do that. Just raise the flag.
Pancho's is a great place, period, sir.
It is not. It's just not great at all.
In lieu of what you told me, what do you like more, Pancho's or crawfish?
Okay, wait. There's a difference between river rats and Pancho's?
Oh my god.
I mean, river roaches and Pancho's? I would take Pancho's.
You're a river roach.
Your face is a river roach. So this week, we are joined by the third member of the group, the final piece of the Triforce of the Toy Rewind podcast. We had Michael, we had Andrew, now we've got John. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm betting that our 17 listeners are probably thinking that we're either bullshitting them and it's the same person over and over again, or
we're all three different persons. I guarantee you. So,
or the Mama Newland just doesn't have a hobby, and there's just a bunch of you guys out there just out hanging out.
There's three of us. Of course, I think Joey from the Dorksman tried to claim to be the fourth Newland. But, we've had other people try to join our team, but there's just the three of us.
Yeah, there's only three. And you could tell the voices are different. I mean, I think Michael has the most dominant voice on there, but just most recognizable, not dominant, most recognizable voice on the show. You can tell it's Michael.
Right.
And I've been listening for a while now. I got tuned in when y'all joined Cross the Streams, and I saw that y'all had a Godzilla episode. And after cursing because of the name, name damage control of what was happening on there,
we try.
I know y'all tried. I tried.
Freaking kaiju purist over here.
Hey, I am. You gotta say it right. But I listened to that. I listened to the Inhumanoids episode, and I just been following ever since. And I think I've said this before in the last episode with Andrew was when y'all did the Beanie Babies episode, when y'all kept talking about the documentary on HBO Max. I checked it out that night. I'm like, okay, I have to see this. And wow, if you thought Tiger King was just insane and crazy,
yeah,
this documentary is
the Beanie Baby the Beanie Baby craze was crazy.
Yeah.
Just from all the soccer moms that jumped on and tried to
pretty much.
I found myself shaking my head. Yeah, I found myself shaking my head a lot, man. I was like, "Oh, get the old, don't you know the Beanie Baby with the Thai Beanie Baby?" I was like, "Oh my god, why am I watching this?" But then, as it kept going, I kept making these parallels between those and what we have now, the pop vinyls.
Yes.
Although an argument can be made at this point that pop vinyls have overtaken the mantle as the most useless collectible in the collectible market.
You say that as I'm looking at my giant Master Chief Halo Pop that's like right here.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm surrounded by them.
Yeah, I know.
The pops have taken off. I didn't see myself getting into them, and I've got a few. I've got some of the Monopoly ones. I've got a custom Zelda one above me.
Mm-hmm.
But like Andrew has all the Batmans,
and
Michael
Turtles
has a few of the Supermans and stuff. And
yeah,
I mean, I look at the pop vinyls. I try to find what I want, but they still haven't gotten into the genre that I really like.
Okay, what's
I've
that?
got a Beetlejuice one behind me. I'm a one-off, I guess.
Okay.
That most people don't get the collection stuff. I don't know.
Well, I know they did make a Beetlejuice one. I think they did 2 or 3 of them, different
They did
ones.
3 of them. I've got
3
one of
Yeah.
them. I'm looking
Okay.
for the other 2.
Okay.
Yes,
Didn't they
there
make
are
one of
some I
the-
want, but
Didn't they make one of the nice fucking model? Didn't they have that one
so what?
from the movie where he's like he says nice fucking model and he honk grabs his situation.
Situation.
I know they have, like, I have one where he's all nice and everything, and then there's the one with the kind of the carousel. I think there's one other I'm looking for. So
Didn't they make a Dante's Inferno one where he's got like the red tux suit, or was it
I have
like
not seen that one?
I thought there was one with the taxi driver hat on.
that? Might have been it.
Yeah, I think I have. Which one do I have? Nope, I don't have the taxi driver hat. So
Okay. But there's usually a genre for a license or a genre for everyone. I mean,
oh god, yeah.
When I first started, I just wanted Spider-Man and Green Lantern. Those are the only 2 I wanted. And then they're like, hey, we got Power Rangers, we got the White Ranger. I'm like, well, crap, I like the White Ranger. Okay. And then they're like, you know what? We've got Halo. And this is when Halo 4 came out. The 4th game came out. I'm like, yeah, I got to get Master Chief and the Grunt. Okay, sure. And then what got me was like, hey, you know what? We like horror movie stuff too. We've got Sam, we've got Freddy, and we've got Jason. I'm like, well, crap, there goes my wallet. I'm done.
Once you figure out the genres and they start hitting those, it's you're looking for all of them.
That's pretty accurate.
I mean, I can't say much. I've got the Monopoly guys over here too, so
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, at one point I lied to myself and told myself I was going to pare it down to like 3 or 4 different things I really liked. Here's the 3 or 4 things I really like: wrestling, Disney, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles. Like, oh, Disney, Spider-Man, good job, asshole. Here's 8,000 pops you want to buy. I'm
right?
Like, God,
yeah,
I can't stop.
That's true. I tried to do the same. I had to cut out wrestling because they keep releasing more. So now I'm just doing either horror, Halo, or Spider-Man. And now even that I'm like, damn it, there's another one coming out.
Eddie Guerrero is coming out in his lowrider, Aaron.
Yeah. If they ever do Willow, I'll be buying those. So.
Are they coming out with a series? And then Willow,
there's something supposed to be coming out with the Willow coming out soon.
Yeah.
Oh, then don't you fret, sir. Right behind that will be a whole lot of pop vinyls.
Yeah, when we started all this, we got researching all the stuff, and I'm sure my brothers have told you how our podcast started.
Yes.
And I was the last one introduced to everything. They were like, "Oh, you got to be on this." Okay, cool.
So you know what? That's a good way to kind of start off. Let's get your side. How did you join their podcast? Because I've asked each one individually how it started, and like, oh, well, so and so said this. Like, no, that's what so and so said. How did you start?
So, a couple of years ago, I guess we were sitting around Christmas at my parents' house, and we were talking, and of course, we started talking about all these stories. And of course, some of the stories my parents were like, we never heard this. Well, there's a reason you didn't hear it. We're your kids. And now, it's been 20 years since that happened. So yeah, we can let out different things. But we were sitting there talking, and of course, anytime me and my brothers get together, it becomes a interesting ordeal just because we like to have fun.
Yeah.
We'll talk about stuff. We'll get together. We bring up stuff. My brother Michael was riding a tractor at one time. We put a chain link fence hooked up to the back of it, and me and Andrew were riding on the back of that, standing up somehow. And
that's awesome.
We called it surfing out in the pasture surfing. So having fun. One time we were doing stuff, and Dad's like, I need to move this boat and get it drained out. It was full of water and stuff. So we got out there and started doing stuff, and Andrew's on top of the boat, and a water moccasin comes out of the water. You know, Dad's deathly scared of snakes, so he goes and grabs a shotgun and trying to tell us to get the snake where we can shoot. And I'm like, you don't need to shoot at us. And he was more worried about the snake than us. And all these different things come up.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there conversating, and someone had mentioned, y'all should record all this. I'm like, no, we really shouldn't. Just different things going on, and you know, our lifestyle and stuff and everything going on. I'm like, nobody really cares. You know, we have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I guess that progressed, and then all of a sudden Andrew does the podcast with the Dorksman and hits Michael up, hey, we should really do this. This is a good idea. And Michael's like, all right. He hits them back with a list of all this stuff. They decided with the toys, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're going to do a podcast. We want you to be on it. Okay. Sure, why not? I mean, they're my brothers. I'm going to tell them yes. You know, anytime to conversate with them and have fun and have a good time. But
yeah, man.
So they got everything together. I'm the third leg pretty much, even though I'm in the middle of them.
The third leg. That's funny. You're like, I am the wiener of this podcast.
Yeah. And you know, we started it. And of course, I guess this really started taking off right as the pandemic took off. Andrew was in Colorado. Mm-hmm. I guess I just moved back to Tyler.
Okay.
When we really took off, but I guess the conversation started before that when I was in San Antonio, and we're getting it going, but nothing really took off till after I got to Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Michael are around Tyler. He's 30 minutes from me. And then Andrew, of course, moves back to Tyler, and we start all this, and it just became something that gave us a chance to talk and have fun and, you know, talk about the stuff from our past.
Yeah.
And going into it, I remember some of the toys. Michael remembers some of the toys. Andrew remembers some of the toys. Like I kind of mentioned to y'all before we started recording, was I like taking things apart.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to put them back together. So if there's any toys we had, I probably destructed them and hopefully tried to get them back together.
And you know, as long as you didn't wear a black skull shirt, you know, to be Sid from Toy Story, you're fine. You're fine.
I didn't have a black skull shirt, but I mean, there for a while I dressed in all black and
oh no,
had the long blonde hair and stuff like that. So.
The rebel had to come out.
Yeah. Kind of the rebel out of the group. But I mean, I wanted to know how things were put together, taking them. So only way to figure that out was to take them apart. And
I
we probably would
mad
have
if you were my brother.
a lot more toys from our childhood if it wasn't for me.
Oh man.
So, very cool. I did have a younger brother who took toys apart, and he would put them back together like Sid would in Toy Story, where we would have, for instance, we would have a Ninja Turtle with a He-Man arm, or God. We would have a Panthro with a Transformer or a what's that show? Like not a Exo Squad arm. Just random body parts for random toys that he would just take apart and put together.
This is giving me anxiety.
It was.
I was more the perfectionist. If I couldn't get it back together the right way, I tossed it.
Oh no!
Oh man!
I didn't try to build it up some other different direction. I was like, I want to get it apart and make it right back to the same way it was.
Well, at least E for effort, you know.
see that's. I mean, by doing that, you kind of learn how the toy works, but also learn the parts of the toy. So, where if you wanted to in the future, you know, repair, you know, fix it, you know, paint, stuff like that. Which is what a lot of people do now on YouTube. They do a lot of toy restorations, and it get a lot of views. But then you have those people who just take their toys apart, Frankenstein them up, and just become people who like to watch the world burn because they like to destroy their toys, like Sid.
Now, so, I mean, I guess if you've watched some of our stuff, we did do the experiment, I would say, it with the firecrackers and the G.I. Joe men and stuff like that.
You
See
did that?
how durable the plastic was.
I can't lie though, I did that stuff too though. Like if I had guys that got battled injured and stuff like that, as far as kayfabe in my toy battles. Listen, New Year's Eve or 4th of July, if you're on the DL, man, like you're getting blown away. Like it's the knockdown drag out battle of the year. That and ant piles. If you were ants living in my yard, I smited you.
I will say that we did do that to a couple of our old toys. We did put firecrackers on them, or we did that because we wanted because these were action toys. They needed to shoot or explode or whatever.
Right.
So we had the old the old glow in the dark RoboCop toy, the one they had like the cap gun on the back.
Right.
Yeah.
We tied a firecracker to him, lit it up. We're like, hey, now he's gonna turn into RoboCop from Part 2. Before he gets built back together. And that thing was pretty durable, but the glow in the dark paint melted off. It didn't really last too long. But we did do that to a couple of our toys. So going from that, as a toy podcaster and also a toy collector, what's your hobby what do you look for when you're toy hunting? What's your thing? I mean, Michael has the Hot Wheels and diecast. Andrew's got the Batman pops and he's into Turtles and everything. What's yours?
I'm more of, I guess, any of the retro ones.
Okay.
That we've talked about. I have, of course, I've got or they're on this side, the retro Beetlejuices that came out back then.
The movie or the cartoons? The movie or the cartoons?
Both.
Both? Okay.
But doing all this kind of opened up a lot of stuff that I just never did because I was always busy working. I've never stopped to even think about collecting.
Yeah.
My brothers were the collectors. I wasn't getting into it. I had to work. And like I said, when the pandemic hit, it kind of took a different toll. And I was like, all right, cool. So the Beetlejuice stuff, I got back into. I loved the movie. And I was just like, all right. I mean, that's a side of me that's kind of out there.
Yeah.
I do have some of the same things Andrew has in with the Turtles and everything like that. I'm not a big Hot Wheels fan. Sorry, Michael. But and I'm not a big Legos fan. So with Andrew, he loves Legos, always did love Legos, and that created a problem with me because of his love for them. I learned to hate them. And
oh my gosh.
My kids have never opened up a Lego box or anything that was gifted to them.
Oh man.
I got rid of them. If they were given Legos, I re-gifted them really quickly so I didn't have to step on them and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And I think something came up with my son not long ago. He was like, they said something in there. He was like, I don't even know what that's like because I've never had a Lego. I was like, well, that's my fault,
Oh
wow.
man.
But
the funny thing is, I'm sorry, just real quick. Knowing what we know now about the Lego market, you probably gave away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of Lego sets.
Probably did. Now, if I was to buy a Lego set, I'd definitely buy the upgraded ones, like the Star Wars stuff. I'd get into that. The Death Star.
Okay. Yeah.
If I was to do it, not going to.
Okay. So, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm a big Zelda fanatic ever since the beginning of them. I think it got me in a lot of trouble with my parents when they bought us our Nintendo, and I would not go to sleep and try to play it. And just, I don't know. There's something about the game, the puzzles and everything within it that I loved. From the beginning of it, I've played several of the others. Ocarina of Time. Oh, by the way, I do have an Ocarina.
He does.
I was about to say, yeah.
And it's playable, but I cannot play it.
That was my next question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you play it?
I mean, I can make a noise, but it's not going to be beautiful. I know when y'all talk to Andrew, he questioned that. I do have one. It's playable.
Well, I see the shield behind you. I see the Zelda,
I do have the shield,
the Hyrulean shield, and sword.
Thanks to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
and there's a Master Sword behind it and a Master Sword beside it, 2 different ones.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't have the Dark Master Sword yet. That's on my list to get. I love the swords. They're actually full-size swords. And
that's awesome.
Of course, I just love swords anyways. I don't know. There's something
You ever
about
go
a
to
sword
Renaissance?
compared to a gun. So
That's a good question. You ever go to Renaissance Festival?
I don't, and I haven't. I have a lot of friends that do it. I've helped them get ready for the stuff in my past, and I just, like I said, out of the 3 of us, I'm more the workaholic.
Okay.
And I have focused on my career with the restaurant business and doing stuff. And then once I got into where I'm a part owner, it still takes up a lot of my time so far. So
okay. So question about Zelda. Question about the Zelda games. Which one is your favorite storyline, and which game was the funnest to play?
Wow.
He just put his whole life in a he was like all of it, man. What are you talking about?
I like all the ones I've played.
Uh-huh.
I will be honest, Breath of the Wild is probably my favorite. Just because the openness of it, you can go anywhere you want to, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Definitely waiting for the second one to come out. Ocarina of Time is a good one. What was the other one? Michael says he's caught up on it still hasn't finished it, but the Skyward Sword was really good. I liked it. But any chance I get to even think about it, to go back to the original Zelda, you can't beat it. It's
okay.
I mean, as bad as the graphics were back then, it still holds up to what Legend of Zelda is supposed to be with the puzzles and stuff and figuring it all out. So,
but they weren't bad back then. That's the thing, man. Like, it was mind blowing for an 8-bit map on your screen for you to like fight blobs and little fur balls are shooting balls at you, and you're trying to get to the it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. You're like, I will take this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your mom's like, go to bed. You're like, Hyrule won't save itself.
I mean, we had our own map that we had pieced together. I remember this as a kid. We had it. Some of it might have been drawn. Some of it might have been from different magazines and stuff. But we knew we could fold it out and we had it. And we're like, all right, this is where we're going. What are we doing today?
That's awesome.
So
that's how it is. That's how it was with Zelda. I remember I didn't have the first Zelda game, but I had Legend of Zelda 2, Link's Quest.
Or yeah.
It was the side scroller. The one that apparently everybody hated this game, but I loved it because it was the one I liked, because you had the upward strife and a downward strife, which is really cool. So I enjoyed
one of the few that I haven't finished.
I never finished it. I got to like maybe the 4th or 5th castle.
Yeah.
And then it would always reset, because in order to save the game, you had to press and hold reset, then power to turn it off and save.
Right.
And if you didn't do it correctly, it wiped everything.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them on, of course, I have a Wii U.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the only thing that's in my memory of the Wii U.
That's awesome.
What the hell was that?
Vin Diesel outside my neighborhood looking for his family.
Family.
It's all about family. But the second one is one that I never could get into, I guess, for some reason.
A lot of people did.
Aaron likes shady games.
I
didn't know. I didn't know it.
I have it. I try occasionally.
I didn't know it was shady. All I know is that the cartridge was gold. It came from Montgomery Ward when I was younger. It was a Christmas gift. I'm like, this is awesome. Gold cartridge. I can never beat this.
I was playing my Adventure of Zelda 2 in my Rolling Hard shirt from Wieners.
It wasn't Rolling Hard. It was Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. There you go. Shirt. Yeah, gotcha.
Well, like one of those No Fear shirts.
Right.
But yeah, hey, that's the game I had, and then like everybody else in their life, I bought Ocarina of Time for the N64 because Who didn't?
yeah.
Who didn't buy that
Everybody
game?
did.
I mean, you talk to everybody when they have an N64. You ask them what games did they own, and there's 3 games that everybody had. No matter what, they either bought it or it was gifted to them: Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64,
Yep.
and GoldenEye.
I was about to say, if you don't say GoldenEye, I was about to lose
GoldenEye,
my...
exactly, GoldenEye. Those are the 3 games that everybody had for the N64.
Well, including the Marios, but yes, those 3 were on top of everything else. But I mean, Ocarina of Time still holds itself. It's still one that everybody that is any Zelda person is going to tell you that's one they play, and they still play.
Oh yeah. So you mentioned the maps. So that means you had to either copy it somewhere or read a magazine. For gaming magazines, were you a Nintendo Power or EGM?
We had
Game Pro.
We had the Nintendo Power.
Okay.
That's what my parents got us into when we were playing Nintendo and stuff like that. And of course, yeah, I can't tell you how long that lasted, but yeah, we got what we needed.
Okay.
So
I had Nintendo Power for about 3 issues. Get the 3 issues free before they make you try to charge you and pay you.
Right.
The thing. Yeah. Did that a few times, so I've only got 3 issues. Apparently my dad saw the invoice request, please pay us now bill that came from GamePro. And I reluctantly got a subscription to GamePro because he didn't want to owe the IRS any money, or he didn't want to get, in trouble for not paying.
Oh my God.
So me and my brother, we figured out, hey, if we did this for both EGM and for GamePro, we'll get a subscription. he'll forget in a few weeks. He'll just forget. He won't be mad for a few weeks. So
oh my God, that's pretty funny.
That's how we did it, because we had EGM and we had GamePro for like years as a subscription service.
Wow.
Magazine.
And we had Nintendo Power. I don't think we had any of the others really.
Okay.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Michael has our maps and stuff still laying around, because he kept everything from back then. So
probably has them framed.
I don't think he's got them framed. He might have to find them, but they may be in one of his totes.
Yeah. And Nintendo Power was awesome because they would actually send out like soundtracks, like cassettes and CDs, or soundtracks, awesome. If you're a subscriber to it. I know I got the Mario 64 soundtrack from GamePro. From Nintendo Power. Because again, I did that thing again where I sent off for, hey, send me 3 issues free. I'll pay you back later, I promise. And they never did. And I got the CD for free. So it was great. It was pretty good. So talking about retro toys, because you mentioned retro toys.
Yep.
Are you 80s or 90s, or just whatever catches you?
Whatever catches me. So we did Cops and Crooks.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And
yep.
So I've got Hightower.
Oh, nice.
It's so dope.
And I've got the little bomb here and everything else too that I need to find. I need to find some caps so I can actually put in there and have some fun with it. I do more of the retro stuff when we come across them. I've got what else do I have? Some of the others, some of the holographic ones and everything.
Yeah.
From the ones we've gone across and everything that.
Visionaries?
Visionaries. I don't have the Visionaries. I have the other ones. The
was it Phantom Force or
No, not Phantom, but
yeah, it's those guys.
Yeah. What are they called? I can't even remember off the top of my head, but I just love the holographics. And if you find them that actually work,
that's dope. I got this.
And they're still good, But I go for the ones when we're talking about them and stuff. I'll research them and I'll look them up online. And I'm like, all right, I want those, so I'll order some.
That's pretty cool.
Some of them we never had. Supernaturals.
That's what it was.
Supernaturals, yeah.
And some of them we never had. Some of them we have. And I like more of the retro style. Toys.
So is there a retro line that you haven't started yet that's caught your eye, or Or you just
started yet? Not yet. I mean, there's
You
some
should
we've
go-
talked about that if I had the money to put into them,
yeah.
I would, but I don't have them. I can't see spending some
fair
some of the
enough.
money that they are worth now.
If I had the
that's
money,
fair.
I would do Masters of the Universe or Thundercats, or really go really deep dive on Turtles, like with the whole freaking Playmates line. But that would be all the money.
Andrew's done some, and I've actually got some of his. He's talked about, because I know he mentioned Ace Duck.
Yes, he did. He mentioned Ace Duck.
I have a full Ace Duck with all the bombs, with the belt, with the wings and everything that I found.
So good.
It wasn't that cheap.
Oh.
But I did find them. I found several others that that I send every time we're out looking around. We send each other pictures and stuff. Anything that I don't know. I mean, what are we? I don't think I found one that I've got, like, I've had to do this and get the whole thing. I like certain parts of them.
Okay.
So I just go with what I feel I can afford right then, and
hey, that's perfectly fine.
I'm not a completionist, so
that's perfectly fine, because I'm not a completionist either, except for movies. But for toys, I'm not. But two questions though. Here's a kind of a two-parter question. What is the grail that you're looking for, and what's the grail that you already have?
The grail I think I already have would be the vinyl pop Zelda.
Okay.
That my daughter bought me. It's a custom. You can move around the sword and stuff and the shield. I mean, Pop, they don't make them.
Yeah.
So it had to be a custom, and she went out and found it and bought it for me.
That's awesome.
So I don't think there's anything that can beat that one from her. A grail I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If I had the money and could buy it, it would be the dragon. What is the name of it? It's the one from the Willow.
Oh, the Hydra, like the big multi-headed dragon from Willow.
So that would be one. I have all. I mean, they're not very interesting because they don't move. They're solid state toys, but I have all but like 4 of those from the original, and they're carded. If you look right behind me.
Yeah. I can see them.
But
that's awesome.
That would be the one that I would be looking for if I can ever find it for the price that I can pay for it.
Hey, if you go to toy shows, you'll be surprised when you go to toy shows.
Oh, I know.
You go to those old school trade days, man, where like, Grandpa's cleaning out the barn or whatever, you know what I mean? And he's just saying, I need to get this shit out of my barn. And it's like, everything's $1.
I mean, I know what that one's worth, so that would be one. But again, I'm not a completionist, so I'm looking for stuff that really just intrigues me.
Yeah.
Right then, right there. And if I see it and I want it, I'll buy it. If I don't, it doesn't faze me. So,
Aaron, ask me the same question.
So, John, going for So Chris, what's a grill you're looking for? What's a grill that you have?
I will tell you, sir. One of the grills that I have, I got from you, actually. It is the original turtle van, the party wagon.
There you go.
Yeah, which I originally thought was not complete, but apparently it was. Right? Because it was like the lap belt on the trap door. I think the lap belt.
It was a rubber band. It was just a basic rubber band.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was like I thought he just put like a bullshit rubber band on there. I was like, no, apparently that was the real deal Holyfield. I was like, oh, this is complete then. I was like, oh, because the funny thing is, I was at a Houston Autorama, and there was a vendor there that had a turtle van complete in box, but the box was real raggedy. So I had this come to Jesus talk with myself, and I don't know how we found out. I think we just told Aaron or something.
No, you're asking me if it was worth this amount. You said, is this a good amount?
That's right. Yeah, I asked you if it was worth picking up, and you're like, well, I'm selling mine if you want to buy mine. I'm like, what? And so I just bought yours.
Yeah.
So like, I never thought I would ever have that again. So that's definitely, I brought it over from my mom's house because it was in my old bedroom upstairs. I just came over with a bunch of shit today.
Yep.
So I got to put that up in my detolf. I had a turtle detolf. I got to fill back up.
You get with Andrew on that one because there's a lot of stuff he still wants with it.
Listen, the grill I want that I had was the turtle blimp. But if I have the blimp, I need the balloon to be not popped, so it'll stay inflated, and I need all 6 bombs or 8 bombs or whatever it was. I don't want an incomplete one.
True.
Every time I turn around, somebody's trying to sell me just the cockpit with no balloon. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, you're trying to sell me 20% of the toy? What are you talking about here?
You got to have the balloon.
You definitely got to.
And it's got to be inflatable. If it's not,
no go. I don't want a flaccid ass balloon chilling on top of my turtle case, man.
It's not the Tom Brady balloon.
Exactly.
Can't be deflated. Can't be deflated. Well, like I guess to round this question off, the grill I have and the grills I'm looking for, current grill that I have right now. Ooh. Trying to think.
You're a dad, it's your kids.
Yeah, it's my kids. No, they're not the grill. No, no. I've got a statue of Army. I've got an Army of Darkness statue. This came out in 2003, and they only made 1,994 of them. The year when the movie came out.
That's awesome.
So I have that, and it's basically the box art cover of Ash with like the little mini ashes underneath him. Sheila at his side. He's on top of the car wreckage. I've got that. That's probably my grail. The grail I'm missing, or I say grails because they have to come in a set to complete the ones I have. I'm missing the other 2 giant and humanoid monsters. I've got Tindril. I need Metlar and Decompose.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I'm finding that out the hard way.
I mean, those were some. They really intrigued me when we talked about them and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, when we started looking up what they were going for and the prices for them now, I was like, all right, no.
Well, I found Tindril. Me and Chris went to a toy show or a comic show at our local outdoor flea market area, and I paid $45 for Tindril. And he's in pretty good condition. He needs a bath. He needs to be cleaned up, but he's in pretty good condition. The Metlar that I had before I was forced to sell it by the wife, I got for $30.
Oh man!
The only thing that was wrong with him was that his head, whenever you would snap his head into the body part, one of the plastic clips had broken off. But I glued that back on, and it was perfectly brand new. I just glued that back on, snapped it in, and it was brand new. Unfortunately, I was told to sell it because it looked evil, and
you look evil.
and now the last time I saw them was when we did a toy show last year in Pasadena. This guy had Decomposed and Metlar, and for the pair, he wanted $850 for them.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't.
Hey, babe, you see what this is going for now?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What's more evil, the toy or the price tag?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Look, man, honestly, Aaron, I've been keeping my eyes peeled for those, buddy. I haven't seen them.
They're hard to find now.
On the way back from Louisiana, I saw a sign in Winnie.
Did it open up your eyes?
Thank you for joining us on the Front Row Negative Podcast. It's been wonderful. It's been quite the run, but I think we're done. No, anyways. No, dude, Winnie Trade Days. It's like when I'm talking about the grandpa that cleans out his attic or his barn, that's where they go is Winnie Trade Days. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to tell it to you the way it's written on the side of the I-10. It says, the weekend after the first Monday of every month.
The weekend after the first Monday of every month.
That's like a riddle.
Very specific. It's like they're coinciding their opening weekends with like some kind of old satanic ritual they have to do every month.
Well, I mean, you got like up around us, we have the Canton trade dates, and you can probably go find whatever you want there. And it's the first Monday of every month, so it's that weekend.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
So the weekend after the first Monday kind of makes sense because it sounds like they're trying not to combat against some other big shows.
Yes,
maybe so. So, Aaron, what I'm saying, Aaron, is I got to take you out to Winnie one day.
Yeah,
it's like the first weekend after the first Monday of every month.
The next toy show is the third Thursday of every month under a blood red moon.
Seriously,
on a summer's day.
Virgin blondes do not apply.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's hilarious.
I'm just saying, that's strange.
That's really specific though for a date for a trade days.
I'm telling you, man. Maybe I'm just not redneck enough to understand it, but I was just like, just say the first weekend, dipshit. What was
Well, I mean, if they just put toy show yonder, and that was it.
Yonder.
Y'all come back next month. You hear?
Toy show is yonder.
Oh,
when's yonder? Oh, you don't know?
Over yonder, right down there past Daisy's Green Bean Emporium.
Yonder.
What the fuck is that? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I sound like the uppity asshole in that horror movie that gets killed because I'm like giving the redneck guy at the corner store some shit. Like, we're just here to smoke weed and get laid, all right, dude? God, calm down.
What's your problem, man?
Y'all not going down that road,
Yeah, I know I'm on your property. I know I'm on your property illegal, and we're drinking illegal, but don't have a cow, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
all those.
Sorry, John. I'm the guy that makes this show an hour and a half. By the way,
no, you're good. You're good. The problem is I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm the redneck, so.
No, man, I have mad respect for the trade days, man. Like I haven't been to one in years, and last time I went, I found a couple guys who just had boxes of toys of old school shit. They're like, I'm like, how much is this? $2.
Yeah,
take my money, dude. Like,
those are the people that we want to run into now.
Yes,
because
100%.
They don't understand what they have, and we are realizing.
Okay. Listen.
Even more now what we used to have and what it's worth now.
Yes,
exactly. I want to give you a side note because I am the king derailer of this podcast. This last weekend on our way up to Louisiana, we stopped off in Beaumont at the Walmart in Beaumont. They had a mother load of pop vinyl Skeletor. Either it was Skeletor with a small Snake Mountain, and then Skeletor with Night Stalker as horse, the pop vinyls.
Okay.
They were on clearance for $7.50 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I told my wife, go get the cart because we're going to grab all these. And so we literally
we're going to load up and we're going to see who needs them.
Yeah, Aaron was like, he claimed one of them off of us.
Well, you sent me a picture of one thing. You sent me a picture of one thing, and I'm like, hey, what's on the background? Oh, those are Skeletors. I'm like, hey, how much are they? Oh, they're $10. Okay, I want one. You
take care of your friends. No, the Evangelion Big Pin was $10.
Yes.
The Skeletor is $7 something. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, God, here's my secret. My 17 listeners don't do what I do. I go out to the sticks and buy toys because nobody out there buys toys.
Right.
It ends up in the clearance aisle for $5, and you pick it up and bring it back to Houston and make a profit.
Go out to the
step 1, steal underpants.
Towns that don't have any.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Step Get 3, away from profit. The city. Get away from the city. That's
Houston. Yeah, forget it. Don't be a collector in Houston. Are you kidding me? You're wasting your time.
Right.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Hey, what I figured out in my collector life is that neckbeards hate to travel. They hate to travel. So the farther you get away from the city, the better off you'll be.
True story.
To find
True
stuff.
Story.
You'll find treasures.
Yep. And there's my rant of the podcast.
People that open up their barns and say, "Hey, come rummage."
Yes.
Seriously.
You rummage through it, and you're like, "Oh wow, this stuff is actually worth something. Do you not know what you have?" Then you're like, "Oh, I didn't mean to say that."
Oh, yeah. I don't ask
I'll buy this
I'm
for
like, you sure? Okay.
$2, and it's worth $30.
Get all them comic books out in my son's room. They're $5 a box. Oh shit! Okay,
I'll take them.
It's what happens. It's what happens. I do know. I do have some country roots. My grandmother, she had a farm up in the Cleveland Conroe area. And when we go stay with her for the summers, or I'll take that back, when we were dropped off at the summers and stayed up there, the local feed store had this open area where they would do a trade area. So the feed store was like, yeah, the open stall section over there, once a month, you could do trades and like trinkets and like all the crafts and all that stuff like that. There was somebody who was selling comics and toys over there all the time. So my semi growing up to the trade, or like, the one day of nerdism for me up in Conroe, Cleveland area, was in one of the stalls at the local feed store during the middle of a work week during the summer. Nice. That was it. And I found some pretty good comics and stuff too. I think the coolest thing I found was it was the Iceman Marvel superheroes figure. This is the Iceman that if you put him in the freezer, he would change colors. So I paid, awesome. I think $10 for him. So
hey man, that's a win.
That it was for me at that time. But yeah, feed store trading post. That's kind of what I grew up on in the country.
Those are the fun things to go and find out what they have. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's getting itchy to go to the toy show now.
Hey, there's always some coming up. There's always a toy show coming up.
In this town, yeah, absolutely.
So John, like from the podcast, has there been a toy line or a toy that y'all reviewed that has got you interested into that license or that toy brand or anything?
Well, I mean, like I said, with the Supernaturals,
yeah.
Those are some that I really liked. I like the ghost aspect of them. I like the fact that they're the holographic and everything.
That's awesome.
There's been a couple of them that I've done, the Cops and Crooks.
Yeah.
Those have really caught my mind, and and the Cops and Crooks is kind of more into the I guess just the fact that it's cops and crooks, and we had fun. We have some more coming up that have really caught my mind. As we were getting into it, I didn't have any of the Willow stuff until we started all this.
Yeah.
And it's not one we've talked about yet. It's on the list of another 250 episodes that we have planned. Yeah. Somewhere on there. But when I got researching it, somehow I got into it and I got researching it, and then I was like, oh, cool. Well, I started buying them, and like I said, I'm 4 away from having the whole collection in carded figures.
Yes.
Once I get them all in carded figures, I want to get some that aren't carded, or I mean, I guess I want to get them all not carded so I can have, the carded ones and keep them carded, and then the others, they're not worth a lot, but they're interesting to me. Like I said, I like the Willow.
Yeah, that's what matters.
I'm excited to see what they do with the new one when they actually decide to release it.
Yeah.
Or make it and everything. Which has been in the talks for a while now. But yeah, I mean, as we dig into these, there's certain ones that it's just like, oh wow, these are cool.
Yeah.
And just like you said with yours, if I had the money, I would definitely buy them. And I no thought of, I might get in trouble, but I would.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, my wife went from me not being a collector to us starting this podcast to me collecting, and she's like, where's all this money coming from? I'm like, I'm just sliding a little bit here and there. So
has nothing to do with that bank account been hiding from you for 15 years.
I don't. Yeah, she knows what's there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is with me as well. I can't disagree with that. I've got to slide some things around to do that.
I can't say much. My wife has realized, she's like, oh, I used to have all these Polly Pockets and stuff, which are some of the episodes fixing to come up with us.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want original Polly Pockets. I was like, the originals with all the pieces and correctly done aren't cheap.
No.
Oh,
So,
okay. Funny thing about that, a few years ago, I had a friend who was getting rid of a lot of her stuff, and she had a few of those Polly Pocket sets. She had, it was 3 of the big ones, 3 of the medium-sized ones, and then 2 of the little mini small ones.
the actual pocket ones.
Yeah, the actual pocket ones. Yeah, the ones is like you could only fit the figure inside of it, and that's all that would fit.
Right.
So, and she had me sell these for her because she didn't want them anymore. And I just ended up selling them as a lot because I didn't know, I didn't want to spend all my time researching Polly Pocket.
Right.
So I just sold it as a lot. And for 8 sets, for a total of 8 sets, I ended up selling it for around $85. And they were all complete too.
Ouch.
They were all complete.
I would say a little ouch on that because even the stuff we looked up now, I mean, my wife's been doing this. She's been on me about, I just want Polly Pocket. That's what I remember from my childhood.
Yeah.
And of course, we're coming into that episode along with Mighty Max coming right after it and everything.
Oh, of course.
Max.
And looking at them now, to sell what you sold for $85 was a steal.
It was.
You know, and it's just like, okay, but just like you said, for such a small toy line, why am I going to put the effort into it? But then now, you know, to buy some, and I have one Andrew doesn't have. Ouch! But I have the Turtles. Little, it's like a Mighty Max. Yeah. But it's got.
Oh, I remember those.
Oh, yeah.
I remember those.
Andrew doesn't have this. If he finds one, I came across it in I happened to cross it in an antique store and bought it, and it's got a couple of turtles actually in it and stuff. So.
That's awesome.
But I mean, those little things like that, you're like, oh, they didn't seem like big things back then.
Nope.
And now you're like, oh, if I was to sell this for what I paid for it now, it's a steal. Yeah. You know?
For a while, almost every license had this little mini playset, things like that, like the little Mighty Max style playsets. The Turtles had one. Godzilla had one because he had the Godzilla heads that would pop open with the little mini playsets. X-Men had them. He had little mini comic books for the X-Men.
I had a bunch of those, man.
I had a few of those myself. I had the one with the Gambit and I think Omega Red and Wolverine. I had those. So many of those things, like some of those old toys had those little mini play sets, and I had so many of them. I wish I still had them. I think the only ones I have left, I've got a Mighty Max. That's the Triceratops, to where the dinosaur tail makes one of the horns when you put it back together. I've got the shark, the one that looks like a great white shark. Nice. And those are the only two I have left.
Send us pictures of those so we can use them on our episode.
I will. I'll send y'all pictures. Because I rebought the shark one about 10 years ago because it was right before Gwen was born. But the Triceratops I've had since I was a kid. Wow. And I'm surprised it still has all the pieces. I'm surprised that still has everything. But it does.
If you've noticed when you're when you're listening to us, you know, Michael has a lot of stuff from our childhood. Whether it's mine, Andrew's, his. Somehow, I mean, he was a collector back then too. So
he took everything. Yeah. He took it all.
he would collect stuff and keep it.
From what I'm learning, he was hiding it from John. He was trying to make sure his shit didn't get broke.
Probably.
Never again hiding all the Mighty Max inside of shoes and shit.
Andrew came into the collecting stuff later on. Like I said, just recently did, but it was, you know, just whatever you could find from your childhood. When Michael brings those things out and they're actually from our childhood, it's kind of like, oh, cool.
Send that
those
to me.
Those are awesome. You know? How in the world did you keep them?
How'd you keep them?
Oh, I hid them from John.
Did you steal that from me?
Oh,
I was wondering what you're always under that bed doing. You got a whole damn shop under there. shoe boxes labeled with all your shit in it. Oh man, your brother was the underpants gnome of your family.
He took everything.
He took it all and hit it.
Whatever. You know,
I mean, I see the pictures that he posts, and he has a lot of cars. I think it's every other day he posts the new pictures of the cars that he has, and then to find out that he has the old stuff too that y'all have, I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Now there's some that he doesn't have that are still buried out in my mom and dad's backyard when we lived in Tyler.
Okay.
Then we lived in Chandler. Then we lived. I mean, there's definitely some that got lost.
Okay.
Sure.
So as we were kids. We had fun with stuff. You know.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
But I think as he got a little bit older, he learned to keep stuff out of my hands. So.
That's awesome.
Hey, you have to hide to preserve sometimes. I know I've done that many times with my younger brother, so that wouldn't get destroyed, because my brother was big into monster trucks, big into Monster Jam, and he would get Hot Wheels. You know, he had a ton of Hot Wheels, but he would smash them with a hammer to make them look like the monster truck had crushed them.
Right.
Oh my God.
To make them look battle damaged or make them look like they're pre-crushed. So he would take them out in the backyard when we hear this like slamming sound in the backyard, and it's him destroying or crushing Hot Wheels with a hammer to make them look like they've been crushed by a monster truck.
Oof.
And yeah, so many Hot Wheel parts in our backyard that like, as soon as we would mow the yard, we hear this ting 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 from the blade hitting cars out left in the grass or left in the lawn.
Yep.
It was a time. It was definitely.
I mean, your little brother might have got along because I was all about destruction back then.
Yeah, that might be true until you realize, wait, some of my stuff is missing, and then that was my brother. You'd be like, hey, where'd that go?
My little sister would take my action figures and put them in her Barbie house with her Barbie dolls.
Oh wow!
Like like they were like on shore leave or some shit.
Yeah.
And like tape them together in compromising positions. It was very weird.
I didn't have to deal with Barbie much.
That is a strange detour in this conversation, Chris.
Hey man, I'm just being honest, man. Doing it for the content, sir. Doing it for the content. Honesty is the best policy, as far as I'm concerned.
That is debatable right now. We'll see.
Now we did do a Barbie episode with my mother.
Or
I say my mother, our mother.
She's mine.
My mother, not their mother, mine.
And she gives a story about the original Barbie that she had and how her brothers decided to cook it.
Oh my God.
And got it in the oven and then ran Hot Wheels through all the melted plastic and everything else.
Wow.
Oh wow.
John's like, none of that is totally related to the fact that two Mongols are now serial killers behind bars. Not related at all.
I won't say much more after that.
Oh my God.
Oh,
okay,
no.
well, all right then. I was just shooting in the dark, but okay.
But it shows where some of our destruction methods come in. It's in our genes.
Sure.
Hey, every family has a Bart Simpson. It's perfectly normal. Every family has that Bart Simpson. Oh wow, melting Barbie. Like, how do they melt the Barbie? Just thrown in the oven, or
they threw it in the oven, or I guess it was the compartment under the oven. They had the oven on, and you'd have to go back and listen to it all. But we've known about it, and the fact that it was the original Barbie, and it was a gift to her. I don't know what all happened, but her brothers were twins on top of that, which causes a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm painting the story in my head. This is way messed up. They're just like the Grady twins from like The Shining, just like holding hands, watching your sister, watching your mom put her doll down, like attack, and then just go get it and like set it on fire.
Even after that, she tells them that it wasn't just that. They literally opened it up, ran some of their, I guess, Hot Wheels or whatever, and were playing with it, and then got the tracks all over the place, outside of the oven, into the house, and yeah. Hey.
Holy cannoli!
Wow!
All right.
Talking about some destruction there, you know.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Jeez.
Wow. That's
Like I said, I like to take things apart. I like to try to put them back together. If I can't, oh well. You know, I knew when I took it apart, I might not be able to get it back together. I've known that my whole life. So,
wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's just again. I think if you take it apart, you're able to put it back together. That's great.
Yeah.
If you take it apart and you relish in the enjoyment of taking it apart and leaving them apart,
Symphony of Destruction, man.
pretty much. I'm pretty sure Megadeth was playing in the background somewhere for some of those people that did it. That did that.
That's good times.
It happens. So to kind of go, like, normally what we do at the beginning of the show is we talk about like what we've watched, what we've played, read, and listened to, stuff like that. But we'll save it for the end because there's some things that have come out and kind of want to just kind of gloss over a little bit of it. So John, have you seen the new Batman movie?
I have not.
I haven't either. Chris,
I have.
can you give us a non-spoiler review?
I can, and if you've read any of the generic non-spoiler-esque reviews online, I'm probably going to sound a lot like those. Batman's parents died.
Really?
If you know that
Again?
or not.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know if you're
Okay,
familiar with this.
I do have to ask this. Do the Waynes die on screen again?
Not physically. It's more
What,
of a character
spiritually?
assassination.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. No spoilers.
Okay. Because I do know in every Batman movie, animated or live action, the Waynes always die. There's always a scene where the Waynes die.
Well, you know, I mean, if you've been the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie,
Died there too.
but they painted Thomas Wayne as an asshole, and so which a lot of people didn't like. And I mean, this is not a spoiler. I mean, it's not going to ruin the movie for you or anything, but they paint him as an asshole in this one too. So, you know, it's like we're going away from real assassination to character assassination.
So he got canceled.
Yeah, he got hashtag canceled.
He got canceled.
Yeah, something was in the way. Yeah.
So overall, all 3 hours, how was it?
It was good, man. It really, honestly, I know it sounds like a cop out, but it's really not. They really do give you a different Batman. It's not the typical punchy, fighty Batman. It is a Batman who's only so many years into the job. He's a newbie at it. He's good at what he does, but he hasn't mastered any of it, but he's kind of learning on the job. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which is really interesting because Christian, we didn't get that with Christian Bale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did.
But not like this.
I mean,
you have to see this movie.
He had a movie called Batman Begins. That's the beginning.
But dude,
that's the beginning.
Listen. Oh my God, you have to understand.
Is there Batman pre-production?
This is not the same, sir.
Now,
Christian Bale was not that bad at his job.
Andrew went to go see it?
Andrew went to go see it, and all we got from him, like we asked him how it was, he was like, just wow.
Wow good or wow bad?
Like, wow, good. I'm guessing.
Okay.
I mean,
translate.
I don't know. When with us, wow would not be good. Or would be good, not bad. I mean, we would use a different word.
I could just see that, hey, Joey Lawrence, what'd you think of the Batman? Whoa. Is that a good whoa or a bad whoa? Whoa.
Dude, that's a legitimate question. Come on.
So, and of course, we've all learned we don't look at the critics and everything else what they're posting on any of the movies or any of the shows that we're watching, because we're all different. We may like it. The critics may hate it. Who cares?
That is true.
We go see the movie because we want to go see it, and we make our judgment after that. So
thank you very much.
But Andrew seemed pretty impressed by it and is ready for the next one to come out. So
exactly.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I have not seen it. I'll watch it when it hits HBO Max. No, it's just I'm on a Batman. There's too much Batman. There's just too much Batman for me right now.
Andrew's the Batman fan. I think there's certain shows that we try to get together to watch together because we're all interested in them.
Yes.
Me and Michael went and saw the Ghostbusters.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Oh yeah, that was phenomenal. I loved it, and I think it brought in everything from the past, skipping one movie.
And rightfully so. Sorry, but the movie was not that
even
great.
being able to bring in the future with it.
Yeah.
So love it. I've got some Ghostbuster little deals here, but it's when I go to watch a movie, it's not. I don't look at the critics. I don't listen to them. I go and I watch it, and then I make my assumption on it. Then sometimes I completely disagree with them. Most of the time, I completely disagree with them. I'll say that.
That's how we usually are. I mean, because if you're going back and listening to our old episodes, there was a movie that came out that me and Chris rightfully hated to a degree, and everybody seemed to love it. Everybody was like raving about it, and we're like, no, it's garbage. It's trash.
What was that?
I don't understand how you could have running ninja Naruto zombies going around killing people, and it being okay when they dehydrate out in the sand and the sun. It doesn't make sense. Zack Snyder he's not good. Yeah, he needs to have someone write for him.
Right. Exactly.
So we've dealt with that before. So Chris, you're telling people to go watch the movie, go see the Batman?
I mean, yeah, man. I'm to echo what John was saying. Really, I mean, I'm a hashtag make your own opinion kind of guy, man. I really feel like critics are just people who have nothing better to do, and much. Unless you fucking made the movie, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like I don't, go out and make your own Batman movie.
Well, get the license first.
Get the license,
right? Yeah. If you're so uppity about what a Batman movie should be, or this didn't do this, or did too much of this, well, make your own. Make your own. That's like if I bitched about the Toy Rewind podcast. If I didn't like a certain episode, well then, why would they give a shit? Like, did I go make an episode about that way more in depth? No. Then what the fuck am I talking about?
No, Chris. What you have to do first, you invite the guests, you invite the co-hosts on individually.
Oh man!
Say that you like it, and then go and trash it.
No, you guys have a great podcast.
No, it's a fun podcast.
You guys have the nostalgia market covered, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, it's like when I said this is the toys that made us, audio form, the real toys that made us. I wasn't joking.
No.
But it's one thing I've watched recently, which I kind of got into it only because I heard there's an actor in it. I watched the Pam and Tommy series that's on Hulu. The one with Sebastian Stan playing Tommy.
I watched season one, or I watched episode 1.
It's really good. I didn't realize how much I would get into it. And I didn't even realize that was Seth Rogen at the beginning. I didn't realize it was him until I saw the credits, because he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
The mullet makes him look different. He doesn't have glasses on. It didn't look like him. And then
he didn't do the laugh.
No. He is not
really?
laughing. He is not laughing in this series at all. He is not laughing. No. I marathon through all of it, so I've watched all 8 episodes. It is good. It is very good. The girl that they got to play Pamela, I forget her name.
Pam Anderson.
She looks, sounds, and acts like Pamela Anderson.
Right.
She is a clone of Pamela Anderson. Now, Sebastian Stan is Tommy Lee. He sounds like him. That's it. Yeah. That is it. That is it. He sounds like him, but it's like he's playing Tommy Lee for Halloween. He's dressing up as Tommy Lee for Halloween.
So he's not rail thin?
No, I don't think you get that real thin.
Super crackheady, if you will.
He dropped weight to be thin, but he wasn't.
Dropped some weight, but he didn't drop
Tommy Lee weight.
Yeah, didn't drop Tommy Lee weight. No, you can't see his rib cage. So I mean, but he did a good job. It is a good series. I was surprised at how good it was. How good it was.
I was able. We got through the first episode.
Oh, it's
and
good.
It was one after we started talking about becoming on. I was like, well, I need to go look at this, and of course, then work happens.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, Pam and Tommy is good. It's well worth it.
I need to check it out then.
Also, this weekend, another movie came out for Disney Plus. That me and the kids watched. Turning Red came out with the one with the giant red panda, where the girl gets all emotional. It's good. I do have a question though, and maybe Chris might be able to answer that since he's all Disney, knowing.
Go on.
The movie's set in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously they're going after the boy band craze.
Of course.
Why was it specifically set in that year? I mean, were they hoping to get an actual boy band to be the target?
Well, I watched the not only did I watch the movie, I watched the behind the scenes documentary that they are suggesting after it and before it or whatever.
Yes.
And the girl who made the movie grew up in Toronto. The director was an Asian girl who grew up in Toronto and was in the middle of the boy band craze. Your NSYNC, Backstreet, O-Town, All for One or 98 Degrees, all that bullshit. Yeah. Like she was a big fan of that. So all that movie is very much centric around those teenage girls that were immersed in that.
Okay.
My wife was that girl. So, her watching that, like when you see the characters with the big anime starry eyes, look over at her, she's got the big anime starry eyes. I'm like, okay, this movie was made for my wife. It wasn't made for me, but it was still really fun.
Mm-hmm.
This movie raised a lot of backs, man. I don't know if you saw some of the Karen haircut, speak to your manager reaction to this movie, but there's a lot of conservatives who are very upset about this movie.
I didn't see those, and Jen watched it with us, and we didn't find anything wrong with it. I
didn't either. I mean, obviously it's an allegory for puberty, and that's clear. I mean, nobody's questioning that. But I think what it was is that these parents are pissed off that they're so scared to have these conversations with their teenage daughters that Pixar went ahead and did it for them. That's what they're mad about.
Well, I think them actually. I have
a 19-year-old. So.
There you go.
Well, I think them saying and actually showing pads in a Disney movie, kind of. Raise some flags for some people.
Well, it's funny because, like, if you look at the trailer for this movie, like, if you could put two and two together, like, if you have any kind of common sense,
after I watch it, Red Panda for Red something else.
Turning Red. I literally picked up on it at first. So I looked at my wife. I was like, "Is this what I think it's about?" And she's like, "I think she's going through puberty." I was like, "Okay, I get it."
Yep.
And plus, the director is the one who also directed the Pixar short film Bao about the little dumpling kid, about the mother.
Yes. Okay.
So this director has a history of touching on very human, realistic adult themes through a child's lens. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, John, did you see Bao?
I know what you're talking about. I have not seen it.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This basically it's an allegory for the relationship between a mother and a son. And the mother can't let go of the son becoming a young man and growing up. Like, she can't get over that.
Yeah.
And this movie touches on the same thing. You got to, and that's another thing. I'm putting two and two together on this. Apparently, and you've probably seen this in TVs, books, movies, or whatever, there is a certain degree of higher standard that some Asian families hold for their children, especially immigrant children. And she talks about that in this documentary. Talking about going behind the scenes of Turning Red. So if these people who are bitching about this movie would go watch the documentary, they completely understand this movie was on point.
You're asking too much for some people. You're
asking them to do extra homework.
You're asking them to do extra homework.
I ask people to use their fucking brains, and they don't want to, Aaron.
You're asking people to do extra homework for a movie.
I know. I'm an idiot. What's wrong with me?
You're asking too much.
Anyway, yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, sorry.
It's definitely on my list to watch. I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty good.
My kids are a little bit on the older side, but me and my wife enjoy Disney, and of course, with everything Disney has brought in, I'm definitely watching Disney.
Oh yeah, man.
It's very good. I'll say that the main character, some of her facial expressions, if you're a fan of anime, Kiki's Delivery Service, she has the same kind of facial expressions and design as Kiki's Delivery Service.
Okay.
You're spot on, dude. Aaron, tonight go watch that documentary about the making of the movie. You're answering all your own questions. about all of that.
So I did notice that because I was like, man, she's very anime-like. The main character's like very anime-like. But yeah, that's part of it. So I can see that. I can definitely see that. And trying to think what else I've watched, because I haven't really watched anything else, but I did play and beat Halo Infinite, which
Ooh.
the game is so much fun. It's a good way to end a story that they tried to do in Part 5. Part 5, let's be honest, Part 5 had great mechanics, had great multiplayer to a degree. Part 5, the storyline was so all over the place. They completely changed it up midway through the production. They led you to believe it was one story with the trailers that was completely different when you actually played the game. Bait and switch. Had a lot of hate going into it. It was bad. Halo Infinite basically retcons Part 5. So you can play 4, jump into Infinite, and you won't miss anything, which is good. Which is really good. The sandbox style of playing is a lot of fun. You can do missions and side missions and stuff. The grunts now, again, the grunt sayings when you're playing the game, the little talking like, oh, he brought a ghost, and like little sarcastic little pieces of crap talking trash to you whenever they're shooting you, and it gets better. If you played Halo 3 and you died in the middle of a mission when you're doing campaign mode, the enemies would shoot you after you're already dead. They will stand over you and just keep shooting your body. Oh, they do this again in Halo Infinite. So as soon as you die and you fall down, the enemies will run up to you and start shooting you on the ground, as you're already dead. And they're talking trash to you too. Oh, and like they're saying stuff like, oh, he wasn't the great Master Chief, or oh, he wasn't so bad, he was easy. And these little shits are doing that. It's taunting. It's taunting. But it's a fun game. Overall, it's just a fun game. That's awesome. I enjoy it. I love me some Halo, so
I never got into the Halo, so
never did.
No,
oh, man.
I'm a little bit more old school. I have stuck with Nintendo.
Okay.
My kids, one has a PS, one has an Xbox. But I legitly, the only reason I even have a Wii U is because of all the Zelda games I have downloaded on it. So I didn't get into the shooter games or any of that stuff. So.
Well, speaking of retro games, did you see the announcement for the Turtles collection coming to the Switch and everything?
I saw something on the Turtles.
Yeah, so basically it's every Turtle game from the old Nintendo through the Game Boy, through the Super Nintendo, through the arcades, the Genesis, the SNES, and I believe the first PlayStation games are going to be collected into a library that you can buy on the either Nintendo library, Xbox library, or a PlayStation library. The price hasn't been announced yet, but I'm speculating it's going to be between $60 to $80 for all these games.
Another reason I need to buy my own Switch.
Yeah.
A second reason to buy my own Switch is Breath of the Wild 2 when it finally comes out. So
there you go.
But yeah,
because
it's every so
the
it's
Wii
like
U is not going to be able to play it.
Yeah, you probably won't. But they said it's like 10 Turtles games, or it's around 10 Turtle games. And here's the thing. What got people excited was that not only do you have the Super Nintendo version of Turtles in Time, you've also got the arcade version of Turtles in Time in this as well. So you got both versions. And you've got the Sega Genesis Hyperstone Heist. So you've got those three games combined into the one library collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
the only one I remember is the NES one. So
the super hard one where you had to do the swimming.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that one. Hated that one.
That was one of my favorite games to play.
Did you ever beat it?
I don't think I ever beat it. I don't remember ever beating it.
I'm not gonna lie. I had to YouTube the ending for that game a few years ago just to see what it was because I never got to it.
Right.
God damn it! I'm gonna do that tonight.
I haven't done that yet.
I don't know why I didn't think about that.
I don't want to know what the ending is because if I get a chance to do it.
Hey, I know I'll never play that game again. We don't have a Nintendo to try that. And I remember the farthest I got was we got inside the turtle van, and we had to go around the city defusing bombs.
Yeah.
And I remember keep crashing in the sewer, the manhole covers, and losing missiles by destroying the blockades. That's as far as I got. That's as far as I got.
Hey man, that game's super hard, man. It's like people look back nostalgically on that, the same way people look back nostalgically on like The Lion King on Super Nintendo and Sega. Like,
that was
hard.
Yeah, that
hard.
Was hard.
Some of the older games are legitly just hard to get through.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just the way they were designed and stuff. But
it's almost like you would imagine, like if you beat like Lion King or Ninja Turtles, like there's a message from Kevin Eastman on like if you beat Turtles, he's like, okay, now you own the whole entire intellectual property. You're like, what?
Yeah,
like no wonder it's so damn hard.
Well, I mean, it's like a child psychologist made these games to see how much you could stress out a kid, and then measure it, and then measure the results. It's these games are just super. Yeah, they're too hard. They're way too hard. But
no one ever knew why little Johnny was so upset and he went to school and did bad things. Like because he had the Ninja Turtle video game and he couldn't beat it.
True. But I saw that announcement, and it's funny because the first thing that people were replying to was, "Wait a minute! I just bought the 1-Up arcade that has Turtles in Time on it,
same
with the other Turtle arcade machine. Well, I just should have waited for. Why did I spend $300 on that when I could have just waited for this?
Right.
To play it at home." And I was like, "Well,
I got a buddy of mine that has a couple of the arcade machines that are the Turtles and stuff like that, and I don't know what he paid for them. I was like, why'd you buy these? And he's like, they're arcade machines. I was like, okay, cool. You're a bachelor and you have nothing else. So.
No, I mean the only two arcade games I'd ever buy, I'd buy Aliens vs. Predator for the arcade, the Capcom Aliens vs. Predator, because that was a fun one. And I've never played it since. I've never seen it since. And then I have to get the Spider-Man arcade game with the Sega one, where you have like Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Neymar, and Black Cat, like a side scroller. Those are probably the two I had to get.
Well, then, Aaron, next time you come over to watch a pay-per-view, guess what I got on my modded PS3?
What, Spider-Man the arcade?
Yes, and Alien vs. Predator.
There we go. We can play that.
There you go. You're welcome.
That settles it. That settles it. Played in the hot tub.
Hot tub.
Yeah.
I want a goddamn hot tub. I think everyone should want a hot tub.
Everyone should own a hot tub.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind one.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind one either.
Hell yeah.
Everyone should own a hot tub.
My wife would love it too. So.
Legit,
yeah, I mean, you could decorate it out with like with Polly Pockets around the sides. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great.
Whatever you can do to get mom to sign off on it.
Yeah, you gotta get that co-sign. So, John, thank you for coming on. It has been a blast talking with you on toys, and to finally have the third brother on. We did it. We got them all on, and it's been fun.
Aaron, we saved the best for last, buddy.
We did save the best for last.
I don't know about that, but y'all completed the Triforce.
We completed the Triforce. We definitely did that. And
you guys are Pokemon cards, and we have a full evolution of Newlands.
Hey, you know, we got the hollow foil Charizard. We got the hollow foil Charizard. Yeah, that's all that matters. So to kind of poke fun at Andrew, what's your favorite hockey team?
I have no clue.
Okay, that's good enough. All right. So that's good enough. So come on, plug the show. Where can people find you? Where can people find the show?
Of course, I'm the Middle Newland with Toy Rewind podcast. You can find me. I'm Middle Newland across everything. So I was able to capitalize on that because nobody else had it. So you can literally look that up and probably pull me up on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, everything. So I was able to really take care of that. So, but that's about it.
That's about it. All right, Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me at Ponjo's pretty soon because I've been craving it so bad. I want it. No, you can find me on.
Sounds good.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay, John. So you like Ponchos?
Oh, don't.
It sounds like Mexican food, so I'm.
It sounds like it. That's the best way to describe it. It sounds like it.
That's a confirmed yes. So anyway,
I'm in for food, so
exactly. No, you can find me on Instagram. You can find us at Collectomania. We are still very much alive, just no brick and mortar at the moment. But, maybe down the line we'll open it again. So just follow us on there at Collectomania Comics. You can find me at Chris Foreman Artist on Instagram. You can also Google me. I'm very Googleable, not to brag or anything, but you can do that. And that's about it, man. You'll find me at Winnie Trade Days, the Wednesday, weekend after the first Monday of the month.
Underneath the blood red moon.
On the blood red moon, with the sacrificial virgin.
That's how it works. And you can find we have merch. You can go to TeePublic and Redbubble. Just Google, or just not Google search, but search in the tab bar. Front row negative. You'll find our stuff. We have shirts, we have stickers, buttons, all of that cool stuff that we have there. Stuff. Buy the merch, it supports the show. We have a YouTube channel, which sadly I have yet to upload an unboxing video in about a month and a half.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I need to put something up there. I'll probably unbox some pins tonight. I'll finally do those Disney pins that you got me last year. Over a year ago last year. I'll finally do those pins and unbox them and put them up.
Yeah, one day, you never know.
One day. We need the content.
Yes.
But we do. But we have a YouTube show. Go check it out. There's a lot of unboxing videos. You can find this podcast there as well as some of our others that are streamed through YouTube. But there's no moving pictures. It's just no video. It's just all audio. Check out our other episodes. Find us on Instagram and on Facebooks. We don't have a Twitter yet. I need to get on that. I do need to get on that. It's on my list of things to do, and there's a lot of things on there. So if you made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you for listening, and give us a like, a follow, and a subscribe, and to keep up with our show. And until next time, always unfollow, never unfriend, because don't be a clown. It's true.
Damn it.
So again, John, thank you for coming on. And we will probably have to have you on again because, we love talking toys. We definitely love to talk toys.
Always.
It's always fun.
What we talk about the most.
Yeah. Pretty much. So until next time, I'm Aaron.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see what we have next week. Whenever Dwayne sends us this episode. So, alright. Well, bye.
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.